welcome back to Raised by Giants, where we talk all things spirituality. I'm Ryder Lee. Tonight we have returning guest Anthony Piazza. But before I introduce him, if you would like to make a donation to the channel to help me produce more content, I've set up a few ways you can do that with a PayPal account and a Buy Me a Coffee account to help support my work. I'd very much appreciate it. It is 100% completely optional and donation based. If you can donate, I would appreciate it. If you can't, I still appreciate your viewership. Check the links in the description for donation options. Also, check out Honey Colony website for amazing products like Superior CBD, Colloidal Silver Elixir and Maker, energy supplements, health and beauty products, and a bunch of other really great ethically sourced products. And if you use promo code RBG10, you'll get 10% off your entire order. Check the links in the description. So without further ado, introducing tonight's returning guest, Anthony Piazza. He is a disabled veteran who had a spiritual awakening 4 years ago after a suicide attempt that put him on his journey working with healers, shamans, and doctors around the world, reversing illness, disease, and empowering people in their journey. He has been working with frequency medicine and many forms of secret plant medicine for deep emotional and spiritual healing and personal growth. He now empowers others through frequency healing tools and educating people on the power of psychedelics. Hello and welcome back to the show, Anthony. It's good to see you, my friend. How are you doing?
Good, brother. Thanks for having me. Honored to be here to talk with you about everything.
Yeah, it's going to be a really interesting conversation here tonight. We're going to get into some really great topics and kind of just let the conversation flow. So the last time that you were on, we, mostly talked about the Healy frequency device, and people were very interested in that. And I think that that's great because you've been sending me frequencies for a while through the device, and I believe it's really helped me. So maybe just kind of start us off with an overview of how the Healy device works for those that didn't see our last show together.
For sure. So this is the Healy. It's like a pocket-sized device. It comes from Germany. It's actually a class 2 medical device for pain, fatigue, anxiety, depression, fibromyalgia. It actually is the baby of what's called the time waver, which is one of the biggest frequency tools on the market out of Germany. And that's used by doctors and practitioners. So you do have to be one of those in order to operate and function with that one. They actually made the Healy for the average person to be able to use to scan themselves, to find imbalances, and then treat them with different frequency programs. So it has patented quantum sensor technology. And this quantum sensor is able to basically read your aura, and it can pick up on emotional blockages and trauma and things that you have incurred throughout your life. And then it gives you I am affirmations to move through that, but it also sends frequencies to help you navigate and move through these things that are going on within you. It taps into your Akashic field. So it's not just on the, like most frequency devices deal with the physical, sometimes emotional. This gets deep into your subconscious programming, your limiting beliefs, things that can be blocking you in your journey. And it's got over 10 million frequencies. So there's literally anything that you want to improve, there's frequency programs for that. And just to kind of break down how frequency works, everything at its core is frequency and vibration. We have muscles and tissues. You go down further, we're looking at cells. Then you're looking at atoms and subatomic particles. And then 99% of us are space, right? And the rest of it is frequency and vibration. So this device is actually freeing people from pain, illness, disease. And it also is beneficial for those that don't have those kinds of things, but want to improve anything in their life, whether it's energy, focus, reverse aging, hair, skin, and nails. You got allergies, you got the different meridians and organ systems, detoxing, protection programs from EMFs. It's a long list of different things. And I think we'll go into a scan a little bit later so that you can kind of see how the device itself works. For me, I have broken my back, blown out my shoulder, compressed discs in my neck, nerve damage that made my right arm smaller than my left by like 5 inches. And went through Western medicine, and they almost killed me a couple times. And
Like
through
they
that
do.
whole through that whole process, it like put me on this path. And ever since, I've always been guided to frequency medicine and then plant medicines, which I've done some extensive work with as well. So what this can help you do is basically integrate your experiences as well and reprogram, whether it's mentally, emotionally, physically, your systems for health and harmony so that you can function at higher levels. Like if you're a biohacker just looking to live longer, to improve your health, if you're an athlete that's trying to gain more strength and stamina and also recover like at very fast rates, it does that. So it's the only device on the market that has all of those capabilities in one, and it's the cheapest if you're looking for devices that can do those things.
So how does the device work? Let's say that you had one like you have right now. Is it hooked up to like nodes, and then you put it on your body, and then it sends the frequency from the device, and it's hooked up to your phone too, correct? That's how it gets the frequencies to be able to send, correct?
Yeah, so there's 2 different apps when you get your Healy. One is the analysis app. That's the one where I can scan anyone in the world using the photo, name, birthday, and birthplace. And I call that like the human IP address if you were to tap into a computer or like your radio station. So it's able to pick up on you specifically and then give you programs to help whatever it is that you're going through in that moment. So it's personalized. It's not just this program does this. It's like getting feedback from your systems to see exactly where and what frequencies your body needs in order to find that balance. It actually uses 3 different types of frequencies. So the analysis does the scanning, and it works through the quantum field, the information field. So that's where I can send you frequencies long distance. And I've had amazing things happen just with that alone. I saved one of my friend's dog's lives, just experimenting, because I like to put things to the test. And his dog was down and out, wasn't eating, couldn't walk, had a tumor the size of a grapefruit on its leg. I think I might have covered this last time, but sent the dog frequencies twice a day. It started eating, it started playing. The tumor actually started shrinking, and then he got his Healy and ran it on the dog 24/7. And the dog's health greatly improved. The tumor shrunk enough to where it was able to get removed. And I honestly think that pets respond better to the frequencies because they don't have the programming, right? They're just open and receiving. So that does impact the ability of you to heal, whether it's through frequency or anything, is your belief, right? And your faith in something. Just like Dr. Joe Dispenza's book, You Are the Placebo. So the quantum field, and then I have on my Healy right now this thing that's plugged in. It's called a Healy coil. So this is like a scalar energy waves. It's a Nikola Tesla coil where I can just run a program and throw it in my pocket. It creates like a 3-foot radius field of those frequencies. So when I go to the gym, I can put on strength programs, and my strength and stability is greatly increased. And then at the end of it, I put on muscle programs, and I recover in a day versus 3 or 4 when I hit the gym hard. And then the third way is the microcurrent, and that is where wires plug in right here. And then they go to wristbands or sticky electrodes if you're trying to pinpoint something on your body. And microcurrent actually boosts your cellular ATP by 500%. So that's the energy that your cells need to function. When we have trauma or illness or disease, basically the energy in your cells is lowered, right? And then it doesn't know how to get back up. So it's going to supercharge those cells and then tell them what to do. It also improves your protein synthesis by 70% and your amino acid transport by 40%. So that gives your body the ability to heal and create new tissue and things like that. So you get 3 different kinds of frequencies from it.
So it works basically just as well if you didn't have the wristbands or the stickies on your back then, correct?
So I feel like it's a it's better to hit it from all angles, right? You're going to hit it from the information field, then you can hit it with scalar energy. But you want to do at least one program a day with the wires. And I usually do that at night when I'm laying around, because that's what's going to physically boost your cellular energy. The other ones are going to tell your systems where to adjust, but the microcurrent's going to boost your cellular energy to make that happen.
Yeah, that makes sense. And what I really like about the Healy is it gives you a scan and a reading, and you can go over it. And I think that that's what really separates this frequency device from others, because you can get the frequencies and stuff, but if you don't have the information to maintain it, then it can fall off, right? It has to be integrated, like what we were talking about before we got on this show, and this is why some, use plant medicines and, and do it. And it's really great for a while, right? And they feel really good, but they can't maintain it. And sometimes, they fall even further down than where they were before they even use the medicine. So
Right.
that's what I really
So
like about it.
Yeah. What this can do is basically pick up on what you're going through, whether it's mental, emotional, and spiritual things. And so it brings that awareness, because when you scan yourself and you actually read it on paper, like you might know these things are going on, but once it's put on paper in front of you, you can be like, okay, this is where I need to focus on adjusting. And then it also gives you those I am affirmations and reprograms your subconscious mind to maintain that. So like we were talking about, integration is key, even with working with plant medicines. Like you can do all the ceremonies you want, but if you're not going to maintain it unless you integrated it into your system. And if your system's been out of balance your whole life, and then you're just expecting one frequency program to fix it, that's not how it works. It's got to be used with consistency on a regular basis until your body fully adjusts to the new vibration and frequency so you can maintain it.
Yeah, I always find it funny when people think that they can cram a lifetime worth of trauma and emotional suppression and programming into one healing session or plant medicine journey, because people always want the cut the corners quick fix, and it doesn't work like that. It's almost like if people don't see immediate results, then they say it doesn't work, or they never try it again, and unfortunately, people don't have patience and they don't want to do the work that's required to see results. It was kind of like, what I was mentioning earlier. If like, going to the gym, right? You can't get big and buff like my friend Anthony here by going to the gym one time, right? But that's the first step, right? In the process, and you keep going back, and the more you go, the more results you see, right? So why would anything else be different in our lives regarding healing? You keep
Right.
going back, practice patience and persistence and dedication.
Right. Yeah. You can't take vitamins for a week and then all of a sudden be healthy. So it's something that I've noticed a lot of people, like for me, like pain, this thing is amazing for pain. So I run a 20-minute program and my pain's reduced by 80%. So immediately, but a lot of these other changes might be subtle over time, right? Because your system's wired a certain way and those tracks are deep. So yeah, you can bump it out real quick with frequencies, but if you don't maintain that, then you're not going to create those new neural pathways and connections without consistency. So
Yeah, I agree 100%. And, we've been really indoctrinated by a set of rules and a set of guidelines, right? We have, all these instant gratification things in our life, and we think that, oh, well, I need it and I need it now. We have food delivered directly to our door. We don't have to go to the grocery store anymore. We have brand new movies on the TV now that we don't have to go to the movie theater, right? So it's like, and then we've transferred that onto our healing journey and our spiritual journey as well. And it's like, if we can't have it now, then we don't want it, basically.
well, that and like Western medicine is full of pharmaceuticals that numb your symptoms immediately, but they don't get to the root cause of your imbalance. So guess what? You're taking pills the rest of your life, and it's not actually correcting what's going on within you. So this actually gets to the root cause of your imbalances and reprograms your system so that you can get off all the medications, you can heal, and you can function at higher levels for a longer period of time. And this thing has changed my life. It's given me the best sleep of my life. I can actually plug in my own I am affirmations. So I don't know if you do vision boards and practice manifesting and things like that, but you can actually put in your own I am affirmations into this, and even use photos, and it actually records frequencies of items. So whether it be money or vitamins and nutrients or anything like that, so you can save that and then send that frequency to yourself while you're sleeping. So you're reprogramming in your sleep. And I actually had a really cool thing happen when I was experimenting with it for the Tucson Gem Show that was just here in Arizona. It's like the world's largest crystal and gem show. And I went on the last day, but I plugged in the night before on my Healy. I said, I'm so grateful that I met some amazing vendors that gave us extremely deep discounts and free things. And then we went there the next day, and the first vendor we went to gave us a bunch of free crystals. And then I found another booth, and I went in there, and he gave me like a 60% discount on these massive crystals. And I was like, what? And so I got it, put it in my backpack, and my girlfriend was in the bathroom at the time, so I was going to surprise her. And so we're walking around, and I'm lugging around like a 50-pound backpack, and none of the other vendors were budging on their prices. And I was like, I'm going to take her back over there. So then we walk in, and the guy pretended like he hadn't seen me before, because I said I was trying to surprise her. So it was pretty funny. And then she's looking at this big crystal cluster, and it had a $900 price tag on it. And the dad comes up and says, I'll give it to you for $150. And I was just like, what? So it's like stuff like that. You can manifest things, you can find things, you can open new doors. And the community with Healy is amazing. You got healers and people that are on the same wavelength that are trying to heal and expand their consciousness and stuff like that. So I've made connections globally where I've met like soul family, and they all have their different skill sets, and like you get to work together with them to create whatever it is you're here to create. So it's not just a device, it's actually a really awesome community as well.
Can you send frequencies to objects and things? Have you ever tried to send it to water?
Yeah. So with the coil that's on here, since it creates a 3-foot field, I set it next to my water and program it with whatever frequencies I want. And actually, people with Lyme disease sometimes have a hard time using the frequencies on their wrists because they're sensitive. So they'll program their water with those things, and they're healing still. So we're like 70% water. You're basically structuring water and telling it what to do, and it happens, right? So you can do vitamins and nutrients. You can do all sorts of different frequencies within water. You can charge your crystals or whatever you want. You can basically, you're able to scan people, animals, plants, buildings, vehicles, and other. So this thing is like cheat codes to the universe. Like you get to program it with whatever it is that you want. There's no like harmful frequencies unless you input it yourself, which I don't think anyone should do, obviously, but you're going to put like positive frequencies and different things within these items. So yeah, it's like endless. You can experiment in any way that you want.
Yeah, that's really interesting, because I believe everything in our reality is programmable, right? We can program whatever we want with our intentions, and this seems like with our intentions alone and with our consciousness, I believe. But I think that takes time and effort and a lot of energy to put in it. And I feel like this device is a really good way to kind of skirt around it, and just be like, hey, let's program the water, let's program crystals. Like,
it's very intention based. Yeah. So like, think about us, like when we're in a meditative state and deep gratitude and like crying from gratitude, and in that state, we can't maintain that all day because we're human. We have other things going on and stuff. So what this does is it allows you to extend that throughout your day by running frequencies to like get you in those elevated states of consciousness. You can also make specialized programs through time waiver practitioners my good friend Derek Nakamura, and those cost like $30,000 to $80,000. But he's got over 500,000 databases, and he created a specialized program for my friend who's battling cancer. He created frequency programs for my grandma who has dementia and vertigo, or wealth and abundance frequencies, or 5D and solfeggio frequencies to activate DNA. And I've had out of body experiences with that as well. So there's a lot that you can do with it. It can go into past life stuff. It can go into all different areas.
So I would assume that if someone bought one of these devices or is using one of these devices, the first question they would have is, how do I know that it's working? Right? So how do we know if it's working? I mean, I know whenever you sent me the frequencies the first time, I knew that it was working because everything was collapsing around me, right? Like
yeah,
everything was like going in not a great direction, but it was showing me a period that I needed to go through and grow out of that, and make changes and make positive changes, right? Because I don't believe that anything negative is necessarily negative. It's just our perception of it. And if we can, see that it's giving us the opportunity to grow, then we can transcend the negativity. So I guess for an example, how did you know the first time that you started using the Healy that it was actually working?
so I got my first scan by Zach, who's been with the company for 2 years now. And I was in Costa Rica at the time, and I had been working with doctors that were curing cancers and doing plant medicines out there. And I asked the universe, I'm like, what am I supposed to do with all this information? Because I knew I was being guided back out of Costa Rica. I was guided there right before COVID and spent 8 months there doing amazing things. And at the end of it, I knew I had to go, but I didn't know where I was going. And then someone introduced me to the Healy, and I was a skeptic, like, because I've worked with a bunch of different frequency healing tools, and the person who introduced it to me didn't know how to explain it and things like that. So Zach hopped on a call, did a scan for me, and it actually picked up in my aura scan, like trauma from childhood, like have like being a mediator between my parents, having to choose which parent to love and not being able to love them as a unit. They were separated when I was real young, and it just picked up on things. I was like, what? How does it know this? And then when he sent me frequencies, I actually felt it and I felt good. And then I was like, this thing needs to be like shared. And then it picked up on my back pain and my nerve damage and all sorts of things. So like when you're reading the scans, it's really personalized in some of them. And then they're also very careful about not diagnosing with anything because of the big pharma stuff. So if you scan yourself in different programs, which I'll show you in a little bit, it'll pull up different systems that are out of balance and you run those. But you'll start to notice it. I noticed immediately, and my sleep was the biggest improvement, that I would have paid 10 times for the device, just because I would go to sleep no matter how long I slept. I would wake up with low energy, and I do a lot of spiritual work in my dreams. So I thought it was because I was overexerting myself in that realm. But once I got the Healy, my dreams became even more vivid, and I would wake up refreshed and energized after even like 4 hours of sleep. So I was like, whoa, this thing's awesome. And it, like, you got more energy, more mental clarity. And it helps with pain immediately. So it just depends on the person, what they're going through, even if they're subtle changes. So when you first buy a Healy, you actually get a 2-week free trial to test it out on yourself, or return it for a full refund. And I've never had anyone return it. So I think it speaks for itself once you get it and you start using it. And I also offer free one-on-one sessions, and I spend an hour or two with people doing scans and sending them frequencies, and people feel lighter, they feel happier, they feel it during the scan as well. So just kind of like you did, it just speaks for itself. I just like to educate people on these tools, and I work with a bunch of different frequency tools. I have a new one This one's the Iteracare, but this one is like a blow dryer, and it actually gets like a foot into the body and it energizes your cells, and it's like doing amazing things, but it's more manual labor intensive, and it's not like something as comprehensive as the Healy, so there's tons of tools, but this one is by far like the unicorn device on the market. It's disrupting all sorts of industries, whether it's fitness, beauty, health. Like, it's just amazing. So there's actually a Facebook page with 70,000 people on there sharing their testimonials, which like blow my mind with what it's doing.
Yeah, I like that that you've experimented with all kinds of different frequency devices, because a lot of people they're locked into one, and you're open to testing them all out and see what works for you. And that's really what a lot of people should be doing with everything, right? But they're like anything that's happening in our reality, we shouldn't just be locked into one specific thing, right? We should be experimenting and figuring out what works for us.
Yeah, this is like having a Swiss Army knife, and then the other ones are just their individual like shovel pickaxe things. It's just
Yeah.
good to have more than one tool in your belt to deal with different circumstances and stuff. So like that little wand is good for like acute issues, and it's done incredible things, like people's faces that are paralyzed from Bell's palsy going back to normal. You got people reverse aging. You got all sorts of things happening with it. But it's more labor intensive. It deals with heat, and you have to do it on your own self. And this is like so simple that like you just scan yourself, plug in a frequency program, and you can walk around with it. Like, you're not stuck sitting in a place. And a lot of these I have to sit in one place for 2 hours and run programs versus having something in your pocket where you're mobile and you can do things.
100%. And what I like about the Healy too and the scans is it requires you to, get real with yourself on a lot of things, because a lot of the scans that you sent me, I've just been like, nah, that's not me. I'm not going through that. And then like I have to take a step back and be like, oh shit, that is me,
Yeah.
and then whenever you get into that state of being like, hey, like you can then take responsibility for it, because I think responsibility is a huge key to self-mastery, right? When you can take responsibility for your actions and the things that you've gone through, and it makes it real when it's
Right.
typed out in front of you, you know what I mean? Like there's no getting around it. You're like, oh shit,
Yeah, it definitely calls you out on some things, and it can, I mean, so I'm very open with my stuff, like we all have things to work on. No one's perfect. No matter how much work you do, the work is every day and for the rest of your life to improve these things. And it's okay to have these imbalances. It's just once you see them and recognize them, then you have to be accountable for moving forward.
100%. Let's get into you have a scan that you can show us, right? So people can get
Yeah.
a breakdown about, kind of what's going on and get a better idea of the process and this type of scans that you get with the Healy device, because I think that's very important for people to kind of see the breakdown of how this thing works and give.
All right. Yeah, I'll share my screen and we can kind of go through it. I'll just scan myself, and I won't be able to go through all of it because there's a lot, but we'll hit some main things.
Cool.
So this is the background when you first open up the scanning. The resonance analysis is where you can scan your bioenergetic field for different categories. Coaching analysis is really good for getting into your subconscious blockages, your limiting beliefs and behaviors. So if like a lot of life coaches and healers love this because it can help pinpoint that for clients. It's one thing for them to like say this is what's going on and people can be in denial, but when it comes on the paper, that's a little different. So, and then this bottom one is the aura scan. So I'll do my aura real quick and we can kind of go through that. We'll see how my chakras are. I've had a rough month.
Get them babies in line.
Yes. There we go. Bingo. Okay. So I'll go into aura. So this I can email, and it kind of shows you where my chakra levels are at. I haven't been this low in a minute, but you'll see like the higher they are, the more open and flowing your energies are. And it'll select the lowest chakras to do an analysis on them. The number on the left is your overall life force energy. So if you're overextending yourself, if you're not like doing enough self-care, that'll get dropped. And I've been doing a lot of helping with my friend battling cancer and stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'll just analyze these so you can kind of see what it can pick up. You guys can see all my dirt.
Bring it to the light, brother. Okay, so explain what's kind of happening here on this. It says sixth chakra, third eye. What's kind of going on here?
Okay, so the 93%, it's just going to go in order for which one needs to be dealt with first. On the top, the 93.
Is the 93, how many is the percentage of blockage that you have in your sixth chakra?
No, that one's like basically it's just telling you the relevance. So that doesn't really mean much other than the order that it will go in as far as what needs to be dealt with first.
Okay.
The second number is on a scale of 1 to 10. 10 meaning this is impacting you on a conscious or subconscious level and you need to deal with it. A 1 means you've worked through that issue. There's just some residue. And then there's a breakdown of like C is mental, emotional. And then so it'd be third eye chakra, spiritual body. You read the present state. That's what's going on. And this could be at any point in my life. It doesn't mean I'm going through this now, but it was something ingrained into my auric field at some time or another. And then due to lack of mental awareness, the person is reducing themselves to their physical form, which was most of my life. And then you'll read the desired state. And that last sentence that's a little bit darker is where you want to be. So I know that I am an infinite soul that goes beyond the physical body. And it'll send you frequencies for that. So this one is an 8, which means it needs to be dealt with. The D1 E12 is actually passed down from my parents. So solar plexus chakra, mental body. The person tries to embody the ideal image of the father on the personality level. However, the father's expectations prevent the development of the personality of the son or daughter. And I know that comes from my mom, just from their relationship. So then where that needs to be is I am a strong and independent personality, independent of others' expectations. And my mom is actually in the process of healing. She sat in ceremony with me, and I did a Changa ceremony where she actually had some child healing, where she saw herself when she was like 6 years old on a 2-track road saying, "Come on, you're free. Let's go." And my mom's like, "What do you mean I'm free?" And she's like, "You've always been free. You just didn't know it yet." And then my mom had deep realizations on like the abuse she dealt with as a kid, and then being in abusive relationships and never truly living for herself. And so she kind of got sad, and her little self was like, "Don't get sad. No more bad people are coming. Only good things from here on out. You're free." And my mom quit smoking. She's taking care of her health now. So it was pretty amazing.
Is the desired state something that you want to say to yourself, or is that something that you want to live out? Like, I am strong, independent,
Yeah, so
personally independent of
that's
others.
like your I am affirmation to move through that. but it also reprograms your subconscious mind with that affirmation through frequencies. So it's going to call you out, and yeah, there's work to be done, but you're supported also through the frequencies of reprogramming yourself.
So it's basically giving you things to work on, and the affirmations are to support the frequencies that are given to you, or
Right.
the frequencies are to support the affirmation. I mean, it could be either way, right?
It's kind of tied together. Yeah. This one is D1E36 is actually ancestral. So like in our healing, we have our own stuff to deal with and heal, but if we also are healing like 7 generations back. So a lot of these things, if they're not dealt with, they're still in our energetic field on some level. So sacral chakra, emotional body. The person is mistaking the feelings of the body for love. So I clearly perceive the difference between love and the feelings of the body. I just, I'll get into that another time. Solar plexus chakra, mental body, and the D100,000 is a life theme. The person has no opinion of their own, and it's only a 3, so that means I've worked through a lot of that. And then it's, I am able to form my own opinion, confidently representing it. This one is throat chakra, etheric body. The person controls what is coming from the outside because they are expecting emotional extortion. And this did occur like a lot growing up. So I have a firm spine and I'm emotionally stable. I am committing myself to the flow of life.
How would you recommend people to work on these? You would go from the top, and then you would work on the one that needs the most work first, right? And then how would you know if it goes down? Would you do another scan? And then
yeah, you can scan yourself like daily and you'll see it shift. Like if I scan myself later on, things are going to shift because we're going through different things at all times, right? Energy isn't stagnant, it's always moving. And there's different deeper layers of whatever it is we're going through that still need to be healed and have a deeper understanding of. So I'll scan myself in the morning and run frequencies for my auric field for like 12 to 26 minutes, and then it brings an awareness, right? Because if we're into personal growth and healing, having that awareness then allows you to recognize when it comes up and to shift your perspective, right? So root chakra, physical body. The person is financially providing for other people whom they perceive as moochers. I do give a lot of myself. I'm a giver and a healer, so it's hard for me to receive. But oftentimes I do overextend myself. So that's something I'm still working on. But I receive appropriate compensation for everything I give financially. So this is just kind of, it goes through, there's going to be a lot of them, but I just wanted to give you a breakdown of different things that can pop up. Crown chakra, causal body. Authorities like police, judges, teachers, supervisors are perceived as powerful personalities and emotionally extorting, which I think is what the world is globally going through right now.
100%.
So then when you're done reading it, you can email it to yourself or to the person you're scanning, and then you vibrate. And this is going to be sending me frequencies for all of these things. The things that are green, that's the frequencies I'm receiving.
So you're getting the frequencies of the affirmations and the things that need to be healed.
Yep. It really makes like the healing process and elevating so much easier. So then there's that's what that is. And then coaching analysis. This one's going to be something that you can have like a subject matter that you're trying to improve. So your focus, like what I am affirmation, you would plug in here. So like I always put, I'm in perfect health, living in divine opulence, which is like abundance in all areas of life, serving my purpose for the highest good of all. And then I can go through these different databases where it's going to pinpoint blockages that I have to that affirmation, right? So I can do career, I can do emotional balance, family relationships, finances, goals, personal relationships, potentials, self-worth, social relationships, and spirituality. So the number next to all those is how many different categories there are. So I put it'll bring up 5 out of 366 when I do this that most resonate with what I'm dealing with. And I haven't done this for you yet because I just got this. This comes with the Pro, and it's really good for bringing that awareness and helping coach people. And
So it's sending you 5 out of all of the categories that are most aligned with the affirmation. You're getting the frequencies right now.
yeah, it's going to pull up 5 out of each of those categories that are blockages or things that I'm dealing with. So career, profession, and work. I recognize and harmonize and transform what causes my stress at my job and work. Lack of self-confidence. So that's something I deal with. There's actually frequency programs for that, which it's called like Inner Strength, and it helps with confidence and those things. And I always run it before we do these podcasts and things. So, resolving stress factors in the profession at work, feeling at the mercy of others. So it's going to pull up these things that are even subconscious that you may or may not know that are going on, right? This one really calls you out. So individual qualities. I grow into my perfect wholeness by developing and harmonizing my personal quality, ability to concentrate. And that one's only a 3. You'll see the numbers again at the top. So it's not like a huge thing for me. Finances. So I experience the power to understand and implement the following focus for my benefit and the benefit of the whole to shine. So like stepping into my power and all of that. This one's from my parents. So resolving stress factors in the personality and character. I recognize and harmonize and transform what causes my stress to my personality and character. Overload in everyday life. So it's going to give you frequencies to shift out of that programming, right? Or into a better way of doing things. So this one goes in depth on different things.
I like this one. I like this one a lot.
Yeah, personal relationships, self-love, and altruism. I recognize the unconscious causes that lead to my love for another person being exploited. So I recognize in the right measure how much of my love I'm willing to give to a person. I always give only so much that there is always enough left for me.
So it's recalibrating the subconscious mind on a level to where you don't do the negative things so much. You're getting the positive out of it, and you're growing from it.
Yeah, this one's really, really awesome. So I recognize the unconscious causes of my energy field contracting around other people. I open myself optimally and my energy field expands into its optimal size. All energy flows into me unhindered at an optimal degree and circulates within me. So this one's really cool. I love this one because it's just something that can really help you move through things and actually change your programming internally, and you'll start to experience feeling more empowered, more in flow, more motivated, and things like that. So then you vibrate this for however long you want. I'm just doing 37 seconds. A lot of times I'll scan myself with these and run it on myself all night while I sleep. I also do that with like my own I am affirmations. And my favorite one for sleep is the protection programs, because it protects you from EMFs and all sorts of other things. And I really notice a shift in my dreams, because there's a lot of, I guess, entities that try to mess with you in the dream state. And when I run the protection programs, that doesn't happen. So it's really cool.
Can you choose the kind of frequency that you send? Like, because whenever you pop that up, it looked like there was a bunch of different kinds of frequencies that you
Oh,
could pick
this is
from, like the rate.
that
Oh no, that's just how many seconds
time.
it goes for. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I was just curious.
Yeah, you're good. And then this one's the resonance analysis. So I'll show you guys all of these. You can kind of see why it can take some time. So I got all of these categories I can scan within. And the number next to it is how many total there are. So gem elixirs is like crystals. What crystals you could benefit from and what they will do for you. That means you don't have to go buy them. It just sends you the frequencies of that crystal. So malachite, grounding, helps align and harmonize the physical, emotional, and mental and spiritual levels of being. Supports the unity of one's being in all circumstances. And you got pearl, so promotes the release of layers of irritation in the mental and emotional bodies, which are seen in the physical body as hardness and inflexibility. Helps one turn antagonism for oneself or one's illness into awareness and acceptance, which I'm super stiff from all my injuries, and so that makes sense. Turquoise attunes the energy field to the ancient wisdom of sacredness inherent in all life, cleanses and deepens our connection to the soul of the earth, helps us live a life of simplicity with gratitude and reverence for all. I like to run these like every morning too. This tool can like put you in a flow state where you're able to respond to life instead of react, because you're in that higher state of consciousness and vibration. So no matter what happens in life, you can kind of navigate that without reacting, right? You're going to respond in a much healthier way.
So it's sending you the frequencies of the crystal without actually having the crystal present with you. So you don't have to go out and spend money and buy all these different stones and crystals.
Right. And there's homeopathic remedies in here and stuff. It's like, there's a lot. So it saves you a lot of money on beauty products, fitness supplements, all these things. So
there's a bunch of categories.
yeah, so this is another one that kind of deals Bach flower remedies, which some people are familiar with. It's like natural remedies, and it sends you a frequency of an essential oil, a precious stone, and an orchid that helps with these things. So Serato, the burden of lack of confidence of the inner voice and opinion is balanced. Confidence in one's own intuition is strengthened, and thereby the personal development potential is supported. And I've had people where I send this to them and they'll start smelling the essential oil or something crazy. So Aspen, the burden of unexplainable vague fears and premonitions is balanced. Trust in nature, confidence in nature is strengthened, and thereby personal development potential is supported. So this one goes through that stuff. Different mental, emotional things. So these ones are always good to run in the morning. Or any time of day. I just prefer to start my day good.
I didn't realize that it had all these different options that you can send crystal frequencies, herbs. Like it's a very technical device that has a lot of different things in it.
Yeah, their med board for Healy has like some like the top frequency healers in the on the world that have been doing this for decades and figuring out these frequencies. Dr. Carolyn McMacken, who wrote the book The Resonance Effect, and she was like treating the 7% of the population that Western medicine deemed incurable and was reversing it. Like, there's so many amazing people behind the Healy and the product. They're just trying to help elevate the frequency of the planet and everyone that's on it by giving this tool to people so that we can become our own healers and our own life coaches and work through our things, you know?
Yeah.
So this is deep protection programs, mental, EMFs, geopathy is where you're at on the planet and the energetic shifts that are going on that can affect us. A general protection is like a protective bubble from outside energies, and then subtle energies. So mental is like protecting you from outside influences and different things. And in the world today, we are getting bombarded with harmful frequencies that can throw us out of balance and all of that kind of stuff. So this thing is amazing. It's not only giving you over like access to over 10 million different frequencies, but it's giving you protection from the unwanted ones as well. So this is just bioenergetic harmony. So chilling is like mucous membranes, which I've had kind of a, I don't know if it's allergies, my nose a little bit stuffy. Eyesight, I've had 2 friends eyesight improved to where they didn't need their glasses from using the Healy. Menstruation local, that's like hormonal stuff, immune system, and then hypersensitivity. But you look at the percentage, and the higher the percentage, the more out of balance it is. It's always going to pull up 5, but you always look for the ones that are over like 60%. Those are the ones you'll run through the microcurrent and the wristbands. So I don't know how many of these you want me to go through, but there's a ton. So this is like reverse aging stuff and revitalization, tissue stability, nerve, cell, and epigenetic harmonization.
Let's do like one more, just so people can get an idea of what this device can
Okay.
do.
So this is digital nutrition right here. You got deep cycle programs, fitness. Gold cycle is what you should start with when you first get the Healy, because it'll help you detox and actually more efficiently use frequencies. So like job programs, this one's good. This one will pick like help with fatigue, stress. What else? Positive thoughts and activating your mind so that you're like performing at the top of your game. So balancing nerves activation is mental clarity and focus.
I think we all need some of that, bro.
Yeah, that one's amazing. I run that too. Fatigue, stress, exhaustion. What else are people dealing with? Everything.
Yeah, so much is happening right now.
Learning programs. This one's really cool to help you retain information, concentration, stress. Learning systems helps you retain information. Exams, like for stress as well. And there's a whole breakdown of what these do because it's pretty simplified in the app, but there's actually PDFs that tell you exactly what these frequency programs are doing for you. Let's see. They got frequencies for anxiety, depression, pain, tooth and jaw. So this is like, what's it called? Vata, kapha. What is that? Is that, you know what I'm talking about? I'm brain farting right now. It's like Ayurvedic stuff.
All the not the affirmations. No, but I can't think of it either, but I know what you're talking about. The I'm brain farting on it too. I don't know.
Yeah, you're good. Sleep programs. Oops, I just clicked out of that. Skin. So this is like, this will help with skin elasticity, scars. It's helping like if you have any kind of rash, scars, skin impurities. None of these are really high, but let's see. I'll do the beauty programs. A lot of women love these because it's like reverse aging and rejuvenation stuff. Hair, inner beauty for like self-confidence. Skin elasticity, skin, nails. What else should I do? That's why it takes me like 2 hours to scan everybody. I go through every single one of these with them and send them frequencies. And so let's do this one. This one's like cell salts, which is like building blocks of life. And this one helps me with my joints and all sorts of things. You'll see what pops up. This tool just replaces so many other resources, and it actually gets to the root cause of your imbalances and stuff. So potassium sulfate aids in detoxification, stimulates the production of new skin cells, aids during atopic dermatitis during third stage of diseases, body cleansing, support during cortisone treatment. So that's like a detox and stuff. Calcium carbonate boosts metabolism. Potassium iodide glands, connective tissue, nervous system. Potassium bromide, sensory sensitivity. Arsenic triiodide, proper healing of skin, strengthens and regulates the respiratory tract. So there's all sorts of different programs.
Yeah, I think that's good, brother.
Okay.
Well, I think people got a good idea of what's going on there and what they can expect, and run through all those bad boys. And like you said, it takes some time, and you run through them every day, right? Like you run all those frequencies all the time.
Well, there's one way that I can kind of get around doing every single one is all Healy programs, and it'll bring up the top 5 categories that you should look into that day. So then I don't have to scan every single one. But yeah, I use this thing daily, and I'm also like scanning hundreds of people around the world and helping them out. So you can put my link in there, and people can book a free session. Just let me know that they found me through you, and then we can do it that way for sure.
Yeah, I would definitely recommend that. The links to Anthony's information will be in the description, and people can, like you said, they can hit you up and get a free scan. And hey, it's free. You know what I mean? What's the harm? And you might get some really good information out of it, and have to get super real with yourself. And there's always benefit. There's always benefit in that. Before I let you go, though, brother, thank you, and I appreciate you for coming on my show and sharing this amazing technology with everyone. And I know that it works, because you've been sending me these frequencies for a while now. Since our last show, you've been sending them to me. So I really appreciate you, and you're a really stand-up guy, and I consider you a really good friend. I wanted to get into a little bit of plant medicines, and what your last experience, your last Changa experience. You administer plant medicines, correct?
Yeah, I work with Changa, which is somewhat like smokable ayahuasca. It's about 30 to 50 minutes out of your body, and based on intentions is kind of what you get out of it. And I also work on you while you're in the medicine with a giant tuning fork. Let me see if this thing.
Oh, that is a big bad boy.
And it'll vibrate through your body. I can move and pull stuck energies, and I also have other shamanic tools. But basically, it is a doorway, right, to your soul and whatever your guides and healing needs to occur. My recent one was pretty intense and unexpected, but I'm like in this work to do healing and all of that. So I went into my Changa ceremony, and my stepsister, who I never knew, my dad got remarried after my mom left when I was 4. And the woman he married had a daughter, and then they ended up having a son together. And my dad actually murdered her when she was 5 years old in front of my 3-year-old half brother. And I just connected with my half brother like recently after my dad died when I was in Costa Rica. But so,
And you didn't
um,
know that he murdered her before you did the plant ceremony.
well, so I met my dad after I got out of the Navy, and his story was he went to prison for like 3 or 4 years, but his story was that she had seizures and hit her head and stuff like that. So I didn't know any better. And I just had to trust whatever he said at that time. And he wasn't the same person, I guess, he was when I was younger, because he beat me when I was in diapers if I peed in my diaper. So that's why my mom left. Like he had anger issues, and he put sawed off shotguns to her head. But when I was a kid, I didn't want to hear any of it, and I didn't believe her and all that stuff. So plus then she dated more abusive men, and then I got abused through that. So I didn't have any trust within that relationship. Um, Now we're good, but yeah, I didn't know that he had done that until he passed away, and I went into a ceremony with my really powerful psychic healer friend, and I had to help him cross over. And during that, my friend said he was witnessing her beat this little girl to death, and that's when I knew that it actually occurred. And then I was told to connect with my half brother, so I'm going to help him heal in some way. And I couldn't find him online. His name was Nick, or Nicholas. And then about 3 months later, he actually contacted me, and his name was Nico Piazza. And I was like, "Are you my half brother I'm supposed to be finding?" And he's like, "Yeah, well, yeah, question mark." And I'm like, "Oh my God, like we have a lot to talk about." And then he told me that he still had nightmares because he witnessed it when he was that young, right? Um, but fast forward to now, which is probably a year later, I went into a ceremony not expecting that, but she came through, and I had to help process that trauma and the pain and the fear and all of that. And then I was holding her and telling her I loved her and I was so sorry. And I also had to process my dad's stuff, his anger and the disgust and the guilt and all of that. So it was a pretty heavy experience, but during it, I'm like crying, and like I kept hearing her say apple pie, and I'm like, what does apple pie have to do with anything? I'm like crying. I was like, is my mind playing tricks on me right now? And then I hear, just trust yourself, this is easy. And so then I laughed a little bit, and so then I wrote him a big long Nico, my half brother, a big long paragraph about the experience. And then he actually responded, and he said, yeah, that was our favorite thing to eat, and it was the last thing that we ate before the incident. So it was pretty powerful. But not all of them are like that deep. Like that was kind of just my most recent one. A lot of times I've gone through like cosmic surgeries. I've been gifted information and foresight on, especially on the events that are going on today. I saw over 2 years ago in my Ibogaine ceremony. So the healing journey, no ceremony is going to be the same. And you're constantly processing not only your own stuff, but stuff that's in the family and whatever that I'm being called to do.
Talk to us a little bit about the future and what you've been shown, because we know people love hearing about the future, Anthony, and I know that it's not like people have to realize that nothing's fixed. There isn't a
Right.
timeline on anything. But is there anything that you can share with us that you have been shown that you think is as a possibility without triggering any kind of YouTube algorithms and sensors?
Hmm. Well, I was shown a lot of the stuff that's going on in China, and then I don't know what I can and can't say. But I also saw the things being dropped from planes, making people ill. I saw quite a few, like a lot of deaths off the coast of somewhere. And one of my healer friends actually recently, a few of them got downloads and information that there may be a tsunami off the coast of California, which we kind of talked about, but that's not something I've received. And then I saw the collapse of the Wall Street and the dollar. And then I saw a brief depression and a rebuild and a reset. So I'm prepared for all of that. I'm invested in XRP and silver, and I have food and water and things like that. I do think like the most important thing is not to go into fear, right? Having an awareness of something and then being able to navigate that and prepare yourself. But our biggest thing right now is to be able to heal ourselves and maintain a high frequency. That's why I am all for these tools and helping us navigate things and hold that space from a higher elevated state of consciousness and vibration, right? Because we can be observers and hold it from a place of love versus getting sucked into all of the stuff on the news and the negativity and this and that. We have to like stay in our heart center and have that awareness of potentials that could be happening and not be in denial, and set ourselves up to be able to navigate these things from a place of observance and love. So these tools have gifted me with so much, with getting beyond my own ego, healing things that are like blind spots within my own self so that I can show up as a pure conduit and live from my heart and serve. So I'm very like adamant on being humble in everything that I'm doing and helping people from my heart and not with expectations of anything in return. And just constantly trying to purify myself and heal and maintain that clarity so that I can receive whatever messages I need to help others and be that light, right? Because I do think it might get a little bit chaotic, but our biggest thing is doing our own healing work and maintaining a high vibration.
Absolutely, my friend. And people like to control scenarios and control outcomes, but I think a lot of what you're talking about is uncontrollable. It has to fall. It all has to come down. It all has to collapse.
Yeah.
And you're totally right in that the awareness factor. And again, like I talk about these sometimes on this channel, but it's not to spread fear, and I try and stay away from it as much as possible, because people, they automatically get into that fear state whenever they hear these kinds of things, right? But it's about the awareness, just like you said, being prepared for it, because it is all this stuff just can't happen without a huge collapse. Like that's what it's all been set up for, the food shortages, the inflation. It's all going to come down. Now, I'm not saying that it's going to happen next week or next month, but there's only one way that it can go, and that's to completely implode upon itself.
Yeah.
We can't bring a broken system into a new system. That's not the way that it works.
Even with personal healing journeys, like we have to go into that darkness so that we can come out, rise from the ashes, right? So personally, we have to go in and do that work, and then on a collective level, everything's got to come to a head so that people start to wake up and see like these things. So like everything has to be surfaced to be healed and observed before we can move forward. So yeah, I highly recommend investing in the two things I said. And I have a connection if you want to get Silver. She's amazing. She'll educate you for more hours on the phone than like it's too much information for me. It's like way beyond what I need to know about it. But yeah, so I just highly recommend like maintaining your vibration, do your personal work, breath work, meditations, get a Healy if you want. Something that can support you in maintaining that higher vibration and healing yourself and detoxing and protecting you from all the things that are going on. But in the end, the light wins. So it's just staying in that high vibration and navigating, right?
And getting through the bumpy ride, because it's going to
Yeah.
be a bumpy ride.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate you a lot for coming on and sharing the information about the Healy. I think it's a wonderful device. And if people would like to purchase the Healy, the link in the description, check that out and contact Anthony, and also contact Anthony for a free scan. You got nothing to lose.
Yeah.
you know?
And then I do, if you get a Healy through me, I'm going to be there the whole time. So you're not just getting a Healy and getting thrown out. Like I do one-on-one trainings. I'll get you involved with the Healy groups and the community. So, and then yours is coming too.
Boom, baby. I got one coming and I believe in it because it's a really good, it's a really awesome device. And if you're just sending me these frequencies distant, I mean, the having one personally that I can use is going to be crazy good benefits, I think, anyway, because I can feel it whenever you send it to me. Whenever you sent me the one before we got on the show, dude, like my stomach was like I felt like a warmness in
Yeah,
my stomach, like from my lower abdomen, like up to my chest. And
that's
I'm
awesome.
very noticeable about subtle things that happen to my body, and that's not something that happens like ever. So I felt that one, and I recommend for people to check it out and contact Anthony to get a free scan, you know, and then figure out for yourself if you know what you want to do after that. But I
I'm
will.
open to sharing any and all resources that I have. I'm very big on helping people with changing their mindset, reprogramming subconscious, and any tools that I have, I'm more than happy to share. So just reach out.
Awesome. Thank you so much. The links are in the description to check out Anthony's device and check out the Healy and do some research on it. For everyone else, thanks for watching and listening. Much love to everyone in the chat. Please be sure to hit the thumbs up button to help the channel out in the YouTube algorithm. Share, subscribe, hit the bell icon as well for notifications. The link to my channel on Odysee is in the description. Hit the follow button over there as a backup. You can catch this episode and any of my other episodes on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or Google Podcasts, and you can download them individually on Spreaker.com directly to your device for free. Links are in the description. Thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate you a
Brother.
lot, my brother. And remember, we're not only in a spiritual war, but a war on humanity. Stay aware, stay alert, keep loving your heart for everyone. Stay safe out there. And if you can see through the illusion, you are the solution. See you guys next time.
Thanks, brother.